How many of you have one of these? Are you impressed with it? Yeah, not so much. I have something that you will be impressed with. A few weeks back, I got a phone call from a friend of mine. I'm going to call him Jay. He likes to remain anonymous. And he said, I found a product that I've been using, logging my property, that you've got to have. You've got to do a video on this. It's so great. I said, oh yeah? What's that? He said, you have a pulz-all or a pulz-all? I said, oh yeah, I've got lots of those. He said, yeah, I bet you don't have one like this. And man, was he right. Contacted the company and asked them to send out a couple, and just got done using them on a real tough job. And I want to tell you, I'm really impressed. I'll go into the details. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of these. But first off, let me take you out and show you how I put these two more power pullers to the test. So to test our more power pullers, I've got them both set up there in my trailer. I've got one with the extension handle, one with the normal handle. And we've got these two big Doug firs here that I bucked up that are windfall that will be used for the rafters for the timber framing. In addition to that, I need a chunk for my anvil stand, and I think that might be an option too. So I've got the old Jeep hood there that I use for skidding. The ramps I'll be pulling uphill slightly, but we'll see how they perform, because these logs right here are really green and they're really heavy. So we'll use our PV here to get these into position. These logs are very, very heavy. Yeah, even with this lever, I'm not really succeeding at budging this too much. Well, a little bit, I guess we're okay. It's gonna hit my ramp, so I gotta change its trajectory a bit. So the old car hood or truck hood works good for skidding logs, if you can get the log up on it. So this rigging system works pretty good. Just hook your chain there. If you don't have a choker, hook a chain as tight as you can, and then run your second chain, punch a hole in your hood like that, and you can see that that'll slide and get that log up there. Now we can hook this directly to our yarding line. One of the wonderful things about the more power puller is the length of how much rope you have. You know, you've got, what, almost 40 feet. I pulled out too much there. That really makes a big difference. Because I've kind of got a slope here, I'm gonna use the block to kind of redirect the cable. This is a really helpful technique if you need to change direction when you're pulling with any type of a winch. Now our timber is well up on the trailer. We can remove the block because the hook's running up to it. There, we run out of rope and just leave it there and continue pulling the rest of the way. We're all the way up to our drum, so we'll take the pressure off. Really delightful working with this blue poly rope, or this blue synthetic rope. So much nicer than cable. First time I've ever used it. Now we can just eliminate our, comes out so easy too. We can just eliminate our short chain there, and we'll just pull directly on the choker. To release tension in the more power puller is really simple. You got two levers. You got this one and this one. When you take the handle all the way down, it automatically triggers and holds that one open, so that leaves you with just one hand to operate the second one. So we'll disconnect this, roll it off of our Jeep hood, and then go get number two. It's a chance of destroying my fender. It's very high, huh? That's nice. One down, one to go. This is real logging. I don't care what anyone says. Just because you're not using a $250,000 piece of equipment doesn't mean that you're not a logger. This is actually closer to the true spirit of logging than using a machine. What is that? I have no... If I had a machine, I'd use it. I guarantee you I wouldn't be out here with this. But I don't have a machine, and you probably don't either. But, so we still need to do some logging. We still need to bring our timber in. So this is a mechanical device, a tool that all of us could afford and that we can use to harvest our material, harvest our timber. I've been waiting to use these more power pullers for quite a while here. I've had them for a couple weeks, and man, I'm glad. I like to use stuff before I review it, so I know for sure this is subtleties. But one thing that's a really nice benefit is this pulley here. With a big hook, it fits over lots of stuff to be able to redirect. It saves you from buying another block. And you could just, it has so many purposes. When I look at this timber on a trailer, it reminds me how little things have changed. I remember a poem written over 1,000 years ago by Ulysses that goes something like, I am the beam that holds your house, the board of your table, the bed of which you lie, the timber that builds your boat. I am the handle of your hoe, I am the door of your homestead, the wood of your cradle and the shell of your coffin. Still appropriate today, after 1,000 years. We are loaded. That's real logging there, guys. That's no joke. That's a real problem. Trying to figure out how to get something that heavy up on a trailer. Incredible what you can do with a little tool like that. Just ingenious. Developed what, over 100 years ago, or at or near 100 years ago, and still trucking along. Pretty amazing. So we're not done with it yet though. Let's take it back and I'll show you how to use this more power puller to simply and carefully and safely unload these big behemoths.